You're going to have to develop an education that makes you understand the value of land, the value of the resources under your feet, the value of producing products to be sold internationally and to suffice the needs of your people. Some of you are thinking like that, but time and circumstance is gonna force us, all of us, to think like that. What is the action that we should take? First of all, you have to recognize that the education that you've been given is not sufficient for you to free yourself from your former slave masters and colonial masters. You're going to have to develop an education that makes you understand the value of land, the value of the resources under your feet, the value of producing products to be sold internationally and to suffice the needs of your people. Some of you are thinking like that, but time and circumstance is gonna force us, all of us, to think like that. Have you noticed the clouds of war gathering over Europe now? Have you noticed that America is now putting sanctions on Russia, interfering with their energy production, 38% of which oil and gas comes to Europe? Only 2% of America's oil and gas comes to Europe. So putting sanctions on Russia forces Europe to say to Mr. Trump, oh, I'm sorry, I am not going to stop trading with Russia. What are you going to do now as the clouds of war thicken? Germany is the strongest European country right now, but soon it won't be so. We have to unite wherever we are. We have to start doing something for ourselves wherever we are. We've got to stop allowing the enemy to increase us in more division. My color and your color. My little island and your little island, my little nation in South America or in Central America or in Africa, pitted against others, using European languages to further our division. So you speak English, but you don't speak French. Or you speak French, but you don't speak Spanish. Or you speak Spanish, but you don't speak English. Yet these are the colonizers that have divided us through language, through culture, through religion. And by the way, the Catholic Church used to issue papal bulls that allowed them to come into our lands and take whatever we had and kill us if we resisted, and then make us Christians so that we could be a willing tool. You don't have the real Christianity, dear Christian family. You've got a man-made religion that was made by your oppressor under the name of white supremacy. Jesus was not a white man. So why are you worshiping him? You better wake up, and wake up fast. What action should you take? Muslims, unite. Stop fighting with each other over this or that. You cannot afford that. The Holy Quran says to the Muslim community, hold fast to the covenant of Allah, or the right or the rope of Allah, and be not disunited. Allah is calling us to unite. He said, and remember Allah's favor to you when you were enemies, and He united our hearts, and we became brethren. But now we are on the brink of a pit of fire because of our division, our hatred, our envy, our jealousies with each other. To my own Muslim community in the UK or wherever you are, you have to settle your differences and come together as one. I know it's difficult because you have all of these things that you dislike about one another. But what is more important isn't your life and the success of us as a people preparing a future for our children. Isn't that more important than our petty dislikes? Of course it is. You're going to have to become economically strong where you are. And then soon you'll start migrating back to your islands and to your nations, bringing with you the knowledge that you have gained in Europe, the wisdom that you have gained through your years, and then unite the Caribbean, because everything that the Caribbean needs to become a world power is already under your foot. The only thing that's missing is a vision that will make you one Caribbean. It's better to be the head of something. It is better for you not to think of yourself as a little nation and be the tail of nothing, when in unity you could be the head of something. So I think I used up enough of the time. I'm asking you in this day of action to remember this. Europe is not going to give you reparations, but the repair for us is already here. In the Bible, it says, I will send my messenger from before my face, and he will prepare the way before me. And that messenger would have healing in his wings. Healing in his wings. What are the wings of a messenger of God? The wings of a messenger of God is knowledge. What you are suffering from is ignorance and the manipulation of our ignorance by the forces of power. You wouldn't have even had this meeting today. Why? Because somebody fears what Farrakhan is saying. What am I saying that you should be afraid of? You, England, should be afraid of the wrath of God. You should be afraid in a day and time like this that you have to reap what you have sown. Don't tell me you love your children and you won't do justice by those whom your fathers oppressed and enslaved. So, my beloved brothers and sisters, we must unite. We must set up an educational system that will free us from our former slave masters. You don't need their system of jurisprudence. You need to set up a law system of your own. You can do these things. You've done it for them. Now wake up and do it for yourself. May Allah bless you. May Allah guide you. May Allah strengthen you. And may you become the great people that you were born to be. But you must separate from the mind, the spirit of your former slave masters. And I will close with this. The Quran says, set your face for religion, being upright, the nature made by Allah in which He has created man. And there is no altering Allah's creation. And in another place in the Quran it says, set your face for religion, being upright, before they come from Allah, that which cannot be averted, and on that day they shall be separated. And the Bible comes back saying, be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of our minds. Thank you, my dear Rasta brothers and sisters, for helping to renew the minds of the people. Thank you, my dear Muslim family, for trying to renew the minds of our people. Let's do it together as best we can, and by Allah's grace, I hope one day I'll be able to come in person to see you. But if not, the Word is sufficient. For in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And ultimately, that Word became flesh, and that flesh dwelled among men. Whatever you envision, your unity will give you power to extract something from the governments in which you live, but it will never be the justice that will come from your unity and your uniting with God in His will, to do His will. Power is at your door. Grab it and make a future for yourself. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Brother Abdul Hakim, for your invitation to me. Thank you, Sister Sheba, Sister Stella, and Brother Sugar Dread. Thank you for all of you who attended this great gathering and international day of action. Now go from here and take the necessary action and move toward freedom, justice, and equality. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you.